guys, I'm back. Since you're watching this video, I'm guessing that you're curious to see who these upcoming fighters are picking and predicting for that upcoming Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley fight. But before I get to rolling this video, I'm partnering with mybookie.ag for this upcoming fight, and man, do I have a great deal to show you. So these are the current odds for the fight as of right now. So if you're feeling a bit lucky, or you just have a favorite in the fight and you want to make a pick, make sure to use my promo code Helen to receive this exclusive offer just for you. And also don't forget to check and click on the link in the description below for more details. Look, I hope this video helps you make some strong decisions for Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Now, I'm done talking, so let's go ahead and roll this video. Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, how do you see that fight playing out?
You know, it's interesting. You know, Jake Paul is consistently stepping up just a little bit at a time. Woodley is a better striker than Askren for sure. I don't know. I've still got to process it in my mind. You know, Woodley was a good MMA fighter, but he had some striking background. So you can see Paul going from the non-fighters to the fighters that weren't great striking, like Askren, and now Woodley. I also think Woodley has a bit more pride than Askren. I mean, I think Askren had no self-worth and no self-pride. I mean, I don't even think he trained for the fight. I mean, he looked that bad. He looked like he had a spare tire around him at the weigh-in. It was actually pitiful to look at. And he made a mockery of himself and a mockery of MMA fighters. So I think Woodley is kind of carrying the torch now for the world of MMA, because if you really look at the celebrity boxing world, it's celebrities boxing, but not against boxers, obviously. So because you know they want to try to win the fight, so they're choosing and they're having a lot of they're being choosy with their opposition. So it's clear that the celebrity boxing world, at least the upper echelon of it, like the Paul brothers, with the exception of Logan, who's fighting Floyd, are looking to build up their name by beating up on non-boxers. But now they have to, in order to legitimize themselves, they have to fight combat sports guys. So they're going to beat up on MMA guys. So I think it's really up to Tyron Woodley to really kind of carry the weight for the MMA community, or they're going to end up looking like the punching bags for the YouTubers in boxing.
Tyron Woodley, he'll be boxing Jake Paul. How do you think he'll do?
I mean, look, I'll say this. Woodley has power, but, you know, he's never really been that kind of guy to stand and trade, because he's such a good wrestler, you know, and you know, he's had a good long career, and, you know, it's natural. You take damage during your career. And I feel like Jake Paul, I mean, who is it? Logan Paul? Jack Paul? How many Pauls are there? There's freaking Nana Paul. Like, I don't even understand which one he's fighting, but I don't know. I think he's got a definite shot. He might have bit off more than he could chew this time, because is it Logan?
Jake, the younger brother that beat Ben Askren.
Yeah, I mean, Woodley can do something against him for sure, but I really feel like Jake Paul has, like, people are like underselling him, to be honest. Like, this guy is a really good athlete and has worked with like the best trainers. So, you know, I just hope that Woodley like understands how to transfer his like MMA boxing into, you know, because I'm an MMA guy, you know, I kind of like feel like I got to root for him, but that Jake Paul dude is doing things right. Like, he's figured it out, you know, he's hacked the internet. Like, he's the kind of guy that's like, he's talked his way into every fight, and, you know, and I mean, I'd fight him, you know.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, of course, because, I mean.
Call him out.
But even, I mean, I kind of just did, right? I mean, I'd fight him, but I'd like to see Jake Paul try his hand at MMA. I mean, he's a wrestler, right? I mean, everyone told me this guy wrestled, right? And it made no sense to me that this guy is just doing boxing when he could, like, put all the skill set together and fight an MMA fight. You know, I don't understand. I guess, you know, he's worried. He's, like, worried about doing, like, the toughest sport where you got to know how to wrestle and know how to kickbox and know how to do jiu-jitsu. You got to know how every piece of the puzzle, and you know he's just committed to standing up. You know, it's a really interesting time in the fight sports. Like it's a damn circus out there.
It's hard to say because he's a wrestler. The other guy's a YouTuber. They don't have a legacy in that sense of. The boxing world. So we're talking about the guy who hold the most knockout in the UFC history, myself. You're looking like the best boxer of all time colliding. It's hard comparing apples to apples. But like I said, fights, you know, people want to buy, they want to buy whatever they want. But this fight stand out from everything else. We're looking for a guy who's the Moises of boxing, the guy who's the Moises of MMA. We open the Red Sea of both sports. We cross. The reason we have all these guys, McGregor, Woodley, and you name it, is because of me. You know, I opened the Red Sea. I was the motivation for they jumping in. So if it wasn't for Oscar, you know, Mayweather would not be there. You know, he was the first boxer to become a promoter and discovered all the other boxers like Canelo. So I'm very excited to see this playing out.
You know, the thing about that is, you know, I am Tyron Woodley's father. I'm his legal guardian. So, you know, I haven't signed off and given his permission to fight that little YouTube kid, the kid with the little pubes on his face, Snake Paul. And speaking of Jake Paul, you know, dude, you got little pubes on your hair. If you want to learn to grow a real beard like a real man over here, just come talk to the king of chaos, America's champ, Donald Trump's favorite fighter.
What's the secret?
The secret is, you know, just a lot of you know, good, healthy eating, you know, and shampooing it. You got to get the shampoo in there and moisturize it. But, you know, he hasn't hit puberty yet. You know, that little Lizzie McGuire star, you know, he's still dancing, you know, on Disney thinking he's a real fighter. That's not a real fighter, man. He's a joke. He's the laughing stock of MMA right now. So if you want to come talk to a real fighter, come see Daddy, Tyron Woodley's daddy.
Well, were you initially surprised at all, or what were your reactions when you saw that Tyron Woodley's going to fight Jake Paul? Because I know last time you and I spoke about Ben Askren fighting Jake Paul, and now it's Woodley.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You know, he's looking for another guy who's kind of towards the tail end of his career. You know, Tyron Woodley could still knock him out, my son. You know, he still has that knockout power, but, you know, he's getting a little bit up there in age and his motivation's not there. So what I think is, I know how struggling Tyron Woodley is for money. He's going to take a dive. It's going to be a work, Helen. He's not really going to go fight Jake Paul. They're going to pay him a couple $1 million under the table. He's going to take a dive, take a fall, and they're going to hype up this little Snake Paul like he's some great fighter and great boxer when he's really nothing more than an amateur joke and a sparring partner.
So you think Jake Paul would knock out Tyron Woodley?
Yeah, I think, you know, Woodley's going to take a dive. It's going to be a work, Helen. It's not going to be a real fight. They're not going to really fight. Woodley's going to get paid off. He's going to take a dive. He's going to, you know, get paid all that money on the table. He's going to be happy. He's going to make a bigger person he's ever made in his UFC career, and that's after piggybacking off of some of the stars. You know, he never made it off for being the draw he was. So, you know, it's just, you know, I haven't signed off as legal guardianship for Tyron Woodley to go fight that fight yet. So I'm not sure if I'm going to give him permission. Not.
Tyron Woodley, he's getting into the boxing world. Did that surprise you at all when you first heard that?
I mean, it's an interesting development with everything going on with the YouTubers and, you know, the boxing thing. It's cool though. Like, I mean, we're prize fighters. Go out there, do violence and make money. That's like, I mean, that's what he was doing in the UFC. Go out there and do it, and do your thing. And, you know, I'm happy for him.
How do you think he'll do?
I think he'll do great. I mean, Tyron's a wrecking machine.
Do you think he wins?
Yeah, absolutely.
KO?
Yep, I think so.